Janani Vaidyanathan, welcoming you all. Basics of Russian Communication Skills Part 2. Today, we will discuss about expressions that we would need when we move around in Russia to buy a few things that would be of our interest. Let's see some situation-based dialogues now. The situations usually we are in, maybe in the airport, in a shop, in a library, or in any particular place of interest as a tourist or as a student learning Russian when one goes to Russia. Let's look at some of the dialogues which we would need to learn some of the words, its endings, which are very particular in Russian language when we are speaking Russian. Let's see the first dialogue. Скажите, пожалуйста, у вас есть англо-русский словарь? This expression, скажите, пожалуйста, is used whenever you want to know something from the other person when you are moving around in the city. Now, let's look into a dialogue between Anand and a shopkeeper. Anand is a new student who is learning Russian language, and he is in Russia to learn the language in Moscow. Now, he is in need of an English-Russian dictionary for knowing more words. Скажите, пожалуйста, у вас есть англо-русский словарь? Asks Anand to the shopkeeper. He wants to know if the shop sells English to Russian dictionary. Словарь means dictionary. Anglo-Ruski словарь is an English to Russian dictionary. The shopkeeper replies, Да, есть. We do have. Да, есть. Можно посмотреть. Anand wants to see the dictionaries sold at this particular shop. Можно посмотреть. Пожалуйста. Сколько стоит этот словарь? Anand wants to know how much is the cost of one particular dictionary. Сколько стоит этот словарь? Asks Anand. The shopkeeper replies, 500 rubles. And in Russian he would say, 500 рублей. 500 рублей. Платите в кассу, пожалуйста. You have to pay 500 rubles and you will be paying this 500 rubles in the cash counter. Платите в кассу, пожалуйста. Pay at the counter, please. 500 рублей. Платите в кассу, пожалуйста. When you are at the counter and you want to pay the bill for your dictionary. So, the section where you were in was Slavari, where the dictionaries are sold. The section was called Slavari. So, Anand goes and gives at the cash counter. U kasse. Anand is at the cash counter. U kasse. 500 рублей, пожалуйста. And he hands over 500 rubles to the cashier. 500 рублей, пожалуйста. Какой отдел? Which section? Asks the shopkeeper. В какой отдел? Словари. Dictionaries. The section is named Dictionaries. Словари. Пожалуйста. Возьмите чек и сдачу. The cashier says, please take your receipt and here is your change. Пожалуйста. Возьмите чек и сдачу. Now, let's see to some more dialogues. Now, Anand is interested in buying more things. He is new to the city. He wants to enter each shop and see what's available there that he can buy and take back home, or buy some things of his interests. Now he gets into a shop where the shop shows Открытки. Let's see to this dialogue. As Anand enters the shopkeeper asks, "Что вы хотите?" Anand says, "Я хочу купить открытки." "Покажите, пожалуйста, вот эту." The shopkeeper asks what Anand wants, for which Anand replies, "Я хочу купить открытки. Покажите, пожалуйста, вот эту. Please show me this one." Пожалуйста, посмотрите. Look at this one, please. Anand says, "Я ее возьму. И еще вот эту, пожалуйста." "Я ее возьму. И еще вот эту, пожалуйста." I will take this one. And this one too. Кассу 20 рублей, tells the shopkeeper. The attendant, who is selling the greeting cards, wants Anand to pay the bill. At the cash counter would be в кассу. В кассу 20 рублей. How much Anand has to pay? It's 20 rubles. So Anand goes to the cash counter. Let's see what's happening at the cash counter. У кассы 20 рублей в отдел открытки. Now Anand knows that he has to specify the section where he has taken the items he wanted to buy. So he extends 20 rubles and says the section открытки. 20 рублей в отдел открытки. Возьмите чек и сдачу. The cashier takes the 20 rubles and then he gives him the receipt and the change. Возьмите чек и сдачу. Let's see some more dialogues which happens with Anand, and now let's see with whom Anand is going. He has a friend, Martha, from another country. So both of them are interested in buying souvenirs and they move on to the souvenir selling shop where Anand asks Martha on the street, "Martha, я хочу купить русские сувениры. Что тебе нравится?" Anand wants to know what Martha likes as a souvenir from Russia. What is her interest? "Martha, я хочу купить русские сувениры. Что тебе нравится?" Martha says, "Мне нравятся матрешки. А тебе?" Anand says, "Мне нравятся самовары. Они очень оригинальные." Martha says, "Я куплю матрешки маме и подруге." And Anand wants to buy samovar for his brother. "А я куплю самовар брату." "Дайте, пожалуйста, 2 матрешки и самовар." Please give me 2 матрешки and 1 samovar. Пожалуйста. Let's read the dialogue once again. "Марта, я хочу купить русские сувениры. Что тебе нравится?" "Мне нравятся матрешки. А тебе?" "Мне нравятся самовары. Они очень оригинальные. Я куплю матрешки маме и подруге. А я куплю самовар брату." "Дайте, пожалуйста, 2 матрешки и самовар." Пожалуйста. When they want to buy something and they have decided to buy matryoshki and samovar, they ask the shopkeeper, "Дайте, пожалуйста, дайте, пожалуйста, 2 матрешки и самовар." "Пожалуйста," answers the shopkeeper. "Here are your things," says the shopkeeper by just saying "пожалуйста." Let's see how much they have to pay at the counter now. Let's move on to the counter, the cash counter. Ukase. We already know that we have to pay at the cash counter the money. 2000, пожалуйста. The souvenir has costed them and 2000 rubles, of course. 2000, пожалуйста. Now Anand is very confident that he has to pay 2000 rupees. 2000, пожалуйста. В какую секцию? From which section? В какой отдел we had, and now в какую секцию? From the section, Anand says souvenir. The cashier now gives him the receipt by saying check, пожалуйста. Here is your receipt. Please check, пожалуйста. You might be interested in knowing more about Russian souvenirs. Русские сувениры. Russian souvenir. Matryoshka, nesting doll. Samovar, the decorative container traditionally used by Russians to make tea. Palyekskaya shkatulka, Palik lacquer box. Rostovsky поднос, Rostov tray. Orenburgsky platok, Orenburg scarf. Pavlovo-Posadsky platok, Pavlovo-Posad scarf. Shell. Изделие из гжели. Gel articles made in gel. Haklama are the articles made in haklama. Изделие из хакламы. Matryoshka, the Russian souvenir, is the wooden painted doll which has similar looking smaller sized dolls inside, usually a set of 5 to 7. A typical Russian matryoshka is painted with Russian traditional headscarf and sarafan representing motherhood. Some say the idea of nesting dolls is taken from Japanese figurine of Fukuromo. The first Russian set was created by Sergei Malyutin with the help of Vasily Zvyzdachkin. It was made towards the end of 19th century. Even today, we can find handmade matryoshka with linden and birchwood that are considered to be the best. The smallest is usually made the first, which sometimes is smaller than a fingernail. The next doll is adjusted to the smallest one till the set is complete. Then an artist sketches and paints the doll. Our country also has these types of lacquer finished wooden nesting dolls that are made in Kondapalli and Ettipovaka of Andhra Pradesh. And these shkatulki, the boxes, are made at a particular place called Palekh. And this is 360 kilometers to the east of Moscow. Let's see what else we can buy as a souvenir. And we saw that there are scarves, there are trays and stuff. And what is generally on these trays and boxes are the paintings. The paintings which are typical of Russia. And the boxes are made of lacquer and the trays are made of metal. And these metals are made in the city Rostov. Now, we have the boxes, the scarf, the trays, and we have the greetings that is bought in Moscow by Anand. We can see some of the exercises which can be done now as an example to know what are the verbs used and how your question has to be put. Let us fill in the blanks with the proper forms of the verbs, pakupats and kupits, which you have learnt in this lesson. That is, pakupats and kupits is to buy. Let us look at the first one. Где мы обычно хлеб? Where do we usually buy bread? In English, we use the verb buy. Whereas in Russian, we have to choose between the verb aspect pair pakupats and kupits, and also in its proper form with a correct ending. The verb pakupats is imperfective and is used to denote a repeated action or a process, whereas verb kupits is perfective and denotes one-time action and when action is completed. About verb aspect, you will be seeing in a different module. Here, the word обычно gives us a clue that we use покупать. Thus, we have где мы обычно покупаем хлеб. Here, the subject is мы, so покупать in its proper form would be покупаем. Let's look at the second one. Скажите, где можно dash сок? Tell me where one can buy juice. Here, you see the word можно that needs the verb in infinitive and so купить is used. Скажите, где можно купить сок? Here we use купить, which is a one-time and also an action that can be completed. Let us look at the next example. Лена всегда dash на рынке овощи и фрукты. In the next one, the use of imperfective is seen as it is an action which is taking place always, that is denoted by the word всегда. Лена всегда покупает на рынке овощи и фрукты. In the next example, покупать is used as the sentence has обычно, which means usually. Обычно я dash молоко в магазине. Usually I buy milk in a shop. Я demands the conjugation покупаю. So it is обычно я покупаю молоко в магазине. The next one is что они вчера dash в киоске. Купить is used as the action of buying is completed and we want to know what did they buy in the kiosk yesterday. Что они вчера купили в киоске. Next example is вы часто dash пиво и вино. Here, покупать is used as the sentence has часто, which means often. That means the action is repeated. Вы часто покупаете пиво и вино. Here the subject demands the required conjugated form of the imperfective verb покупать as покупаете. Вы часто покупаете. The next sentence is мы всегда dash сувениры в ГУМе или в ЦУМе. Again, the use of the clue word всегда in the sentence makes it easy to fill the required verb покупать and the subject мы demands the required conjugation покупаем. Мы всегда покупаем сувениры в ГУМе или ЦУМе. The example that is following next is Sasha dash 2 пачки масла, Natasha dash мне. Пожалуйста, англо-русский словарь. Here both these blanks have to have the perfective verb купить. The first one needs the verb in the past tense of the perfective verb купить and the second verb that is to be filled should be in the imperative form купи. The second one uses the imperative in the informal form as Natasha is an informal friend. Informal form to address someone. The formal imperative form of the verb купить is купите. Саша купил 2 пачки масла. Наташа, купи мне, пожалуйста, англо-русский словарь. Again here in the next sentence, раньше он dash сигареты в киоске, а сейчас dash в магазине. There are two clauses. We see two blanks in both the clauses. The first clause has the clue word раньше and the second one has сейчас. Both the clue words indicate the use of imperfective verb покупать. Раньше он покупал сигареты в киоске, а сейчас покупает в магазине. The past tense покупал of the imperfective verb покупать with раньше and the use of present tense of the same verb as покупает for сейчас are seen here in this example. The following two sentences now will be interesting. Let us see what they are. My dash красивые ручки. Dash соки, они очень полезные. Here in the first sentence, we can use both aspects of the verb as there is no clue word. However, generally we tell someone after buying, so the use of perfective past is seen here. In case we are seeing someone buying in front of us, then we should use the present tense. You must have learned that only imperfective aspect has present tense. Мы купили красивые ручки. Let's come to the next sentence. Dash соки, они очень полезные. Earlier we saw the use of imperative of the perfective verb as купить. In this sentence, we can see an advice that juices are useful. So, advising people, we have покупайте соки, они очень полезные. Here we can use the formal as well as informal imperative forms of the imperfective verb aspect покупать. Let us now look into the exercise that we have done just now. Once again, quickly. Где мы обычно покупаем хлеб? Скажите, где можно купить сок? Лена всегда покупает на рынке овощи и фрукты. Обычно я покупаю молоко в магазине. Что они вчера купили в киоске? Вы часто покупаете пиво и вино? Мы всегда покупаем сувениры в ГУМе или в ЦУМе. Саша купил 2 пачки масла. Наташа, купи мне, пожалуйста, англо-русский словарь. Раньше он покупал сигареты в киоске, а сейчас покупает в магазине. Мы купили красивые ручки. Покупайте соки, они очень полезные. Verb forms of the verb pair покупать, купить used in this exercise are покупаем, купить, покупает, покупаю, купили, покупайте, покупаем, купил, купи, покупал, покупает, купили. Покупай, покупайте. Thus we have seen the use of a verb pair in different sentences in its different aspects. The use of tenses, use of modes for both the aspects were also learned. Based on this exercise, you can now apply these rules to any verb pair. In this exercise, we have also seen the things that are bought, like хлеб, сок, овощи и фрукты, молоко, пиво и вино, сувениры, 2 пачки масла, англо-русский словарь, сигареты, красивые ручки, соки. Similarly, we have seen where they have been bought. В магазине, в киоске, в ГУМе, в ЦУМе, на рынке. That has to be used when you are at some places like a shop, or you are at the airport and you want to buy some things which are useful. When you enter Moscow, you can buy things at the airport too. And when you are buying things at the airport would be в аэропорту, and at the shop would be в магазине, в киоске. At the shop would be в киоске. And when you are paying your bills, you would be at the counter, that is kassa, and at the counter would be в кассу. Now, coming back to the dialogues, if we have to see the expressions which we have to remember while requesting or asking someone where or what where some things have to be bought, we say скажите, пожалуйста. Скажите, пожалуйста, где можно обычно покупаем хлеб? Скажите, пожалуйста, где можно купить сок? And at the cash counter, we would also use the word пожалуйста when handing over the money to the cashier. And I think now you're clear of using some dialogues at the shop when you want to buy certain things like greeting cards, souvenirs, or a dictionary which you want to use to learn more words. Hope this module has helped you in understanding how to use some more useful words and expressions, and now you're a bit more confident to speak Russian. Thank you.